Today, boys, we've got some more Sonic 3 figure leaks. We've had some more images popping up online over the past week, and they're potentially some of the best images we've had. So we're going to have a look at all of them, see what's new. We've also got some confirmed dates to look at for some of these releases. So there's a lot to talk about. Plus, we're going to have a proper recap of everything we've seen so far that we know is definitely coming our way over the next coming month. Who knows? Maybe this time I'll reach the 8-minute video length for YouTube. 4th time lucky, right? However, we might need a few Dead Maria jokes to fill in some time today. But anyways, let's jump straight into it. Starting off, we're heading back to wave 3 of the 5-inch figures, as we've had some more images pop up online here in the UK at Smith's Toys Superstore, as well as some random images some guys posted online. But I'm gonna keep the suspense for a little bit longer before I show you guys these images. A couple weeks ago, we went into full-on nuclear panic mode, as this image here of Sonic with the Master Emerald found its way into Reddit. This did, of course, confirm the rumors that a wave 3 5-inch Sonic Movie 3 figure lineup was coming. A few months prior to this image popping up, someone posted this photo captured inside of Smith's Toys online. What a legend. Basically, boys, it was our first solid piece of evidence that a wave 3 was coming, and also a highly rumored Gerald Robotnik looked to be in it, but we didn't hear all that much until, of course, the figure of Sonic with the Master Emerald was found a couple weeks ago. Now, yes, this figure is slightly disappointing just due to one aspect of it. I've covered it before, but sadly it's a 100% identical twin to the wave 1 Sonic we received last year, although this time, for the exact same price, there's a Master Emerald being included. Don't ask me why, I don't get it. There is, however, some benefits to this for certain people. One of those is, of course, Jax, who can quite literally reuse the same mold and press start on the money printing machine again. The others benefiting from this reprint, I mean 100% new and fantastically improved figure, is of course people like me. Sucks to be you, I guess. But for those of us that missed out on wave 1 Sonic, I guess it sucks to be me then? I'm rambling again. But for those of us that missed out on wave 1 Sonic and don't want to pay the ridiculous prices on eBay, we're getting the exact same figure for the exact same price as before, but with an extra inclusion of the Master Emerald. Happy days, boys. Now, there was another photo leaked alongside this one. That was, of course, the back of the box, which shows us the 3 other figures coming alongside Sonic, which is, of course, as rumored, Gerald Robotnik, a surprise inclusion of Knuckles, again, and Super Shadow. Now, last week we got some images leaked online of another one of these figures besides from Sonic, and that was, of course, Knuckles, or should I say, Flames of Disaster Knuckles. Now we're talking. So although 90% of this figure is the exact same mold, we are getting the Flames of Disaster as a surprise but very much welcome inclusion. This, of course, made me feel a lot better because I honestly thought Jax were using Command C, Command V on all of these figures, but no, it looks as if this wave could turn out to be the best we've had so far, potentially. So although Flames of Disaster Knuckles got leaked online for what felt like the grand total of 5 minutes before Smiths realized they'd messed up and they took it back down again. But boys, we still got the photos and we managed to make a video out of it. But saying that, it seems as if they've done this once again. As today, boys, we're gonna have a look at some more images that have surfaced the internet, but one of these images is in fact my guy, Gerald Robotnik. Now, my biggest fear about this figure for a long time, ever since I first saw the rumor of Gerald being included in Wave 3, was of course the fact that in Sonic 3, he is of course played by the same actor that plays his grandson Ivo. That is of course Jim Carrey, so I was pretty scared Jax and Sonic would reuse Ivo's figure and basically just go on Photoshop and change the color of his facial hair and the suit, slap Gerald's name on the front of the box, and job done. But no, thankfully from what's appearing online over the past 48 hours at the time of recording, Gerald does look to be his complete own new figure. But when you look at the size of Gerald compared to Ivo, it's pretty obvious. I'm not gonna lie, boys. It's quite clear as day. My guy's turning into Peter Griffin over here. Now, for now, of course, all we have is the few images online, but once we can get out and go on a merch hunt for this figure and see it in person, we'll be able to buy it and compare it to Ivo and just see exactly what the difference is. I do hope Jax used the same flexible plastic they used on Ivo's figure, but I guess time will tell. Gerald's face also looks very similar to Ivo's, but also different, so I am certainly curious to compare the two. Whilst recording this video, I was prepared to say that we hadn't seen any photos of Shadow so far, but then bang, out of nowhere, an image of the 2025 Wave 3 5-inch Super Shadow appeared on my feed as I was scrolling. Gotta make my job harder, haven't you? And boys, does this figure look good. Now, if you live in the UK, in May, we're getting the 2-pack Super Sonic and Super Shadow light-up figures, so there'll be plenty of opportunities to grab a version of Super Shadow. I'm guessing the figures will be near enough the same. They look near identical, but of course, the light-up version having the hollowed-out head compared to the standard one. If you're more of a box collector, I do believe the Super Shadow and Super Sonic 2-pack is best. The packaging really does look phenomenal, but if you like to mix it up, add a little bit of spice spice into your life and display your figures as well, I'd certainly consider getting the standard Super Shadow, as without the hollowed out head, he really does look incredible. Probably the best figure of the entire wave, but it is pretty close with Flames of Disaster Knuckles. You'll have to let me know down in the comments which of these figures you think is best. There is one more piece of information confirmed over the past couple days on these 5-inch figures, but confirming what I spoke about in the previous leaks video, we won't have to wait as long as the 2-pack light ups for the 5-inch figures. Online at Smith's, it said it is expected in stock around the beginning of March. Boys, that's less than a month. I better get saving. As you guys know, we're going to be spending those V-Bucks on all of these as soon as we can. So if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed so you get notifications on when I release new videos, including those highly anticipated merch hunts. And whilst you're at it, smash the like button. As always, I really appreciate your support. There have, of course, been some more figures leaked to us that have popped up at the likes of Target and Walmart over in the States. That is, of course, the new Wave 3 2.5-inch figures of Shadow, Knuckles, Tails, and Chow mascot Sonic. Now, I'm still very 50-50 on these. One day I'm like, yes, I love it. The next, yeah, I'd rather the shipment carrying these got stolen by some pirates. If we take a look at Knuckles, Tails, and Shadow first, you might notice they're very similar to their 5-inch counterparts. And well, that's because they are their 5-inch counterparts, but just shrunken down in size. I guess it's similar to Ivo and Sonic, who we've already seen. But that's my exact question. Why didn't we see these figures earlier when we saw the likes of Ivo and Sonic? Who knows, right? But there's nothing new to them. Although for the cheaper price they'll be, if you can manage to get them, avoiding all the NPCs walking around who will buy anything they can see just to make $1 or $2 online, then I certainly would suggest you pick this one up. They're pretty cheap and they look pretty cool as well. The other figure included in this mini wave is, of course, the return of the Chow mascot heads. Rather than the 5-inch Chow mascot Tails, we're getting a 2.5-inch Chow mascot Sonic. Now, whether or not you like the Chow figures, quite frankly, I couldn't care less. You're the one watching me here. I'm actually a big fan. Yes, they do look like a brightly colored turd. Oh, that made me laugh. And yes, the scene in the movie had as much relevance as Andrew Tate in 2025. But regardless of that, they're pretty cool figures. It does bug me that we're still missing Knuckles and Tails, and that both the Chow figures we now have are in completely different sizes. But who knows? Maybe they could be hoarding them for a future release. So that's where we're at for now. We're heading into the end of February already, which is kind of crazy considering the fact that Sonic 3 came out over a quarter of a year ago now. But these figures should start popping up in different stores over the next couple weeks. And yes, I'll be frantically running around like a maniac the second I get a whiff of one in order to bring you guys content. What has my life become? So where exactly are we at? We've had 2 confirmations so far, a wave of 5-inch figures and a wave of 2.5-inch figures. We haven't seen anything else yet, and I say yet because who knows? We could get another form of a playset, we could get more plushes, or anything else that Jax tends to normally whip up. But the figures we're getting look extremely promising. Yes, there's a lot of similarities to previous waves, but as a whole, it could turn out to be the best wave we've had so far. Gerald was the initial hype of this wave, being the first ever figure we've received of Gerald himself. Super Shadow's kind of gone under the radar so far, but he'll probably end up being everyone's favorite and end up selling on eBay for crazy prices like the rest of Shadow merch. Partially because we're getting his 2-pack Super Shadow and Super Sonic light up releasing in May, which in every aspect is just so much cooler, but it's still a very good figure, and I'm certainly excited to see what he looks like in person and compare the two. Sonic's, well, Sonic 2.0 with the Master Emerald, but the guy that's kind of stolen the show and left most of us dribbling from our mouths has to be Flames of Disaster Knuckles. I'm gonna make a wild claim, but this has to be my favorite Knuckles we've ever had until the day Cowboy Hat Knuckles is made. Look, if Funko can do it, surely Jax can do it too, right? But it's definitely close between Shadow and Knuckles for my favorite of the wave. The 2.5-inch figures are also a welcome addition, and to be honest, they'll be a nice collector's item. I'm still waiting for a 5-inch Agent Stone or Maria. Realistically though, if we were to receive more human figures, it would of course be the long overdue release of Tom and Maddie. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly surprised that 3 films in, we haven't yet received a figure of either. It is pretty wild to see. But if we can't get that, the one thing I'd do many things for would be the iconic Eclipse Cannon as a playset. Look, the crab mech is pretty good. It looks incredible. I loved its inclusion in the movie. Yes, I'm yet to pick this one up, but if there was an Eclipse Cannon of the same scale, then that is certainly something I'd snap your legs off to buy. And I'm sure many others would as well, because us Sonic collectors, we love the idea of owning a piece of merch aimed at destroying the entire world. What a delightful community we are. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this wave as a whole. I'm pretty excited for it. It has the potential to be the best wave so far, and sadly, it could be the last. So enjoy it whilst you can. Let me know your thoughts down below of the new images of Gerald and Shadow. New merch hunts coming soon on all of these figures as they're coming out next month. We're going big on these ones, boys. Don't you worry. But as always, I'll see you all in the next one.